Hey, what's happening? Big Corbs here. This is our first of two Take It or Break It Sportsman of the Year podcasts. In this episode, we have a bunch of guests. Kelly Dwyer, Sean Keane, Josh Androsky, Bob Silverman, Joey Devine, others, Julian Rodriguez, and other people too. I apologize if there was just one person I forgot and you feel slighted upon listening to this. But anyway, lots of pals, lots of friends, lots of friendship. The second part of this, which will feature more friends, including Spike Friedman, David Roth, Emily Lever, some other friends of the show, will be coming out tomorrow. So listen to that too. But for now, enjoy part one. Oh, and also me and Wilmes will be submitting our selections for Sports Person of the Year as well. So, all right, enjoy.
Go big or go home.
Okay. Welcome to the. Am I going to record a pre one of these? What do you think?
We'll figure out later.
Okay.
Record one.
Anyway, we're here with our first guest. It's handsome Bob Silverman. Bobby, how's it going?
Hi, Corbin. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I hope you're having a wonderful.
Hey,
holiday.
say hi to John too, you animal.
Hi, John. How's it going?
Hey. Oh, dude, it's going great.
Unbelievable. Yeah? Only saying hi to Corbin.
Did you get any good Christmas gifts?
I got a blender.
Oh. Dude, that's like a stick blender or an upright blender?
It's upright.
Oh, okay. That's still pretty cool.
You getting it? You're gonna do the smoothie thing this year?
I made like 4 different smoothies already.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow, like juice and vegetables with yogurt to be a healthy boy.
All sorts of shit like that. Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, what a stick blender's like $30 though. That's not a very good gift.
No, dude, no. I bought a stick blender for a girlfriend of mine at like a restaurant supply and kitchen gear type store. And this was in 2006, and it was a perfectly good one, and it wasn't more than like $20. So I can't imagine it's much more now.
It's gotta be.
A KitchenAid costs like $30.
It's gotta be. I've been through some stick blenders. It's got to be glass, is what I'm learning.
Glass?
The plastic. The stuff that goes on in a blender, the plastic, just the accretion of goo. It's not easy to clean. It just gets gross over time. The glass, it's off. That's what you want.
Well, we broke up, so I'm not really worried about my ex-girlfriend's stick blender.
I'm sorry. No, my girlfriend broke up with me. I'm Bob. I'm not Corbin.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Podcast.
I wonder if she still has that stick blender. It's her birthday today, actually, funnily enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get her another stick blender?
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Bob's ex-girlfriend!
To the ghost of Bob's love.
Ow.
Yeah, anyway, stick blender.
Anyway, we are here to solicit Dr. Silverman's take on the Sports Person of the Year.
Please, my mother is Dr. Silverman. Call me Robert.
Is your mom really Dr.? Of course she is.
She's a doctor. She's a doctorate. She's a doctor of psychology. Graduated fucking magna cum laude too, bench.
Okay, please don't call me a bench. Robert.
Put some respect on my mom's doctorate.
I will tell Burton about the language you're using here.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine with it. He sent me a very actually long email complaining about this morning. Really long, complaining about the fawning over General Mad Dog Mattis now that he's had to lead his stupid job. Okay. And saying like, why are we lionizing this shithead war criminal? And he ends it with like, he goes on and on and on and on about all this stuff and complaining about Maddow turning into a war hawk because she's so addled by her particular case of Trump derangement syndrome. And basically sounds like late period Lenny Bruce when Lenny Bruce was just reading out court receipts doing stand up. And he ends it with saying, and all the New York teams stink. It was a really
that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
It's a good dad email, and I was like, "Damn, Dad, no lies spotted." Not even about.
Gee, I got a 2019 resolution for your dad.
Okay, bring it on. I'll let him know.
Purge the neo-libs, man. Get them out. filter them out.
Yeah, it's fine. He comes from like a particular 60s and 70s brand of leftism, so he still gets something like the National Defense Monitor and the Nation and like Harper's for his political takes.
I gotta admit the Nation is a real like. Why are these guys so soft now?
The Nation?
Yeah, or Harper's or all these. They're just so soft now.
Mother Jones.
Well,
because
Mother Jones especially is like, what? Why are you guys so soft?
I don't know. You should. It's very because every major institution, including journalism, will pivot towards whichever political party or entity occupies power at any given time, which means that when it's a conservative, they all tilt to the right, and when there's a Democrat, they sort of feign slightly leftward.
Hell yeah, pimp.
So
anyway, we are here to ask Bob. I'm the host, Wilmes.
No, I got to transition now.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
With that in mind, Bob, why don't you tell us who your sports person of the year is?
Terrible transition. Go.
That's an awful transition.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. My political man of the year is a sportsman or woman, but in this case, it's a man. Is a person who I think more than any other figure in the world of sports identifies what an utter shit show this country and this planet have turned into. And that's Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, Bob Silverman's sports person of the year.
Big ports. All right. Yeah. Bob, why?
Why?
Dave Portnoy, your sports person of the year.
Well, because he is the founder of the garbage website Barstool Sports. For those who are uninitiated, I wrote a blog about him and his company this year that appeared to make them all very mad. And what they've done is they've figured out how to monetize a particular kind of white male grievance culture. And they've done it in a way that is undoubtedly financially successful, and that and have done so while lying constantly whenever they are criticized, and by in fact ginning up outrage mobs about any kind of coverage they receive to harass, torment, and spread falsehoods about anyone who would dare talk ill of them. And because their fan base has their entire identity so tied up into like a middle-aged white Jewish person, and as a middle-aged white Jewish person, I'm kind of ashamed by this. They can't it becomes both a joke and an existential struggle for them, the kind of harassment they perpetrate, both online and in some occasions offline. And if there is one metaphor for the angry blowback of disaffected white males in sports, it is that site and that dude. And I think he perfectly reflects the year of our Lord 2018.
Mm-hmm. The age of the aggrieved white man. Yes.
The angry white man who for the first time in his life is being told for a half a second that he can't do exactly what he wants without any repercussions whatsoever. And the merest thought that his particular predilections, desires, and needs won't be satisfied at all times sends him and them into a dithering, all-consuming rage. And they are willing to lash out, target, and attack anyone who might suggest that the world is not their oyster now and forevermore.
Did you see the Trump address before Christmas?
Probably.
He said, yeah. But anyway, it was him the day before Christmas, sitting behind his.
When he does one of those like wrestling shoots, and he shoots a promo outside the White House.
Well, this one was behind the desk, but he was
the desk.
Yeah, this one he was like, he was just like, it's like a disgrace what's going on in our country right now. It's revolting.
An interview? Was this an interview, or was it like an actual thing?
It looked like, I believe it was a presser, and it was just something like, he was just talking about the wall, and he was just like, it's a disgrace what's happening in this country right now. It's revolting, and it's just like the fucking day before Christmas, when normally a president would be like, to you and your loved ones, I say, good blowjobs.
About some meaningless pabulum about like goodwill towards men and peace on earth and all that.
And there was something about watching Trump like fucking whine. over the day before Christmas that made me go, look, this is horrible and stupid, but it really is very honest.
Look, he's the biscuit-brained rage baby is the worst person who should ever be president in the history. He's the least qualified person in the entire country to have this job. Extremely Stephen A. Tweet voice, but yes, like dispensing with the illusion that that the decorum and pomp and circumstance of the presidents didn't mask all kinds of awfulness underneath. Maybe in some, I guess it's a silver lining or cold comfort or cliche, but yes, I do often enjoy the puncturing of actual fatuous, self-satisfied bullshit that used to be the predominance. It used to be the lingua franca.
And I think and I think there's something about Barstool that maybe does this, that just says, maybe all these people are just slobs. And maybe you need to go at them with two big ham fists instead of, doing the...
I hear what you're saying. I don't think it holds up.
Well, I mean, fine, fair enough. All right, fine. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's an interesting point, Corbin, though wrong. And it's an interesting comparison. Like, as someone who read a whole bunch of Barstool's blogs and looked at their podcasts and videos and stuff like that, their content, if you will, while working on the article. And for a while, I was like, I don't understand the appeal of this place. I really, really, really don't. Like, even PFT's shtick, it just isn't funny anymore because when you're making a piece of artwork, not to say a blog is artwork, but when you are, the frame matters. Like, the reason, like the frame.
If you paint the Mona Lisa and then surround it in a frame that says "I love to eat pig dicks,"
it's a little different.
Yeah.
Or many people have said this before me, but he's become like the character he created is now the audience that he's mainly speaking to, and so now the satire doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. But like listening to a lot of their stuff, I was like, okay, I really want to figure out what the appeal is. And the actual things that they write are not the appeal. The appeal is, and this does kind of speak to your point, Corbin, so you're not entirely wrong. The appeal is, and I'm stealing this line from a Charlie Warzel blog about something else, about the bad man of the internet, which is that it's the appeal of a guy driving 60 miles an hour the wrong direction down the highway. And as like passengers, like people in the street and people in other cars are like screaming and waving their hands saying, stop doing that, stop doing that. You're going to get someone killed, maybe yourself. Stop that. It's the guy in the car like thumbing their nose at them and saying, fuck you, you're all just jealous that I found a faster way. And that's a very, very appealing avatar. And the appeal of it is the regression, is the desire to like do the absolutely wrong thing and a terrible thing and not caring who might get hurt by you doing the wrong thing. But, for like most of us, we spend most of our lives both online and in the meat space, not able to say what we're probably truly thinking. We can't tell a loved one or a friend to fuck off, even if they're doing something that you think is dumb. You can't grab the ass of a coworker. You can't Wait,
Bob, do you constantly want to grab coworker ass?
No, I don't. Very rarely do I want to grab the ass of a coworker. I'm saying people might want. This is not me.
Didn't know that we were speaking to Bob Ass Buffet Silverman.
Right, but I'm saying.
Buffet. Just quickly, can I add buffet?
Yeah.
Buffet, yes.
Thank you.
I'm saying people all the time have like thoughts and desires that they don't express for all kinds of reasons because there will be a social repercussion. And normally that's a good thing. But what Portnoy figured out is that expressing that and being made quite rich for it is a business model and makes for a very attractive avatar. And it's why the Stoolies get so mad whenever anyone says that they're bad, because they are challenging that and getting mad and owning the libs or whatever is part and parcel of the desire, which again absolutely is part of the appeal of the bad orange man in the White House.
One of my favorite, well, there are a lot of, listen, it was truly a flagship year for Barstool Sports. One of my favorite documents of their sort of nuclear stupidity, though, was when they wrote a whole post because they were mad that Pitchfork didn't like the band that they like.
Oh, that one was great. I read that one.
What band was it about?
They're called Greta Van Fleet. It's just this really corny, stupid, bad, like really derivative, like trying to sound like Led Zeppelin kind of throwback band. And Pitchfork gave them like a 2.1 or something.
It's devastating. Like the lead on that I can't recall it from memory, but it's something like Greta Van Fleet is Van Halen. If Van Halen.
Oh shit!
Like,
Jeremy wrote this.
Yeah.
Greta Van Fleet sounds like they did weed exactly once, called the cops, and tried to record a Led Zeppelin album before they arrested themselves. Not even Jeremy Larson, the D Larson, not the other one. I want you to know that I'm not sure that sentence makes sense, but I respect it.
No, but it's a banger of a lead nonetheless. I can't entirely parse it, but it's very true. It has an incredibly truthful feel, even though I'm not exactly sure what it means. They got extremely mad online about someone shitting on their normcore band.
It's funny because Pitchfork writes stuff like that all the time, but nobody pays attention unless like the number is low. Like they could easily written that same exact review and given it a 6, and nobody would have said anything.
Right.
But the low number signaled to these, lizard-brained shitheads, and they wrote like a whole post being like, "These guys are pretentious," and like they've never even been to a kegger or whatever.
So the Greta Van Fleet album dropped on Friday, much to the delight of people who like rock and just music in general. It's like an awesome new version of Led Zeppelin and refreshing for people who, like myself, are overloaded with electropop and generic rap that is dominating the airwaves and Spotify streams. And while it usually takes them more than about a week or two to listen, Pitchfork, the internet leader in music reviews, rushed to press with their breakdown of the album. Apparently, they don't understand what an advance copy is.
Yeah, they don't understand a lot of things. There was this insane, and there was this wonderfully revealing post that Portnoy wrote after when the Gizmodo Media Group, the Special Projects Desk, wrote this long investigation into Univision and their shoddy financial decisions and failing business model. And he wrote this. They wrote this long investigative story of their parent company. And Portnoy wrote this insane long thing. One, again, shitting on Laura Wagner because he can't help himself. And two, any employee of mine who wrote that would be immediately fired. And I was like, dude, you do not understand anything about reporting to be commenting here.
Yeah. Also, I'm reading the writing on your website right now, and buddy,
oh God, the really fun thing about that site, which I didn't even bring up in the blog I wrote, was that nobody there can put two sentences together. No one there can write at all. No one's coming to that site for the brilliant insight into the world of sports or anything. It's they like this reality TV show. I mean, one of the weird things is the commenter, if you read the comments, and I read the comments, the Stoolies fucking shit on their writers all the time. They say awful, awful things about them. It takes 10 comments before you to run into some really hardcore Breitbartian white nationalism about it too. If especially when the writer is not a white male at the site, and there are in fact one or two. It's just very even the one guy, they got this one dude who's supposedly a stand-up comic who's this fucking ginger who went to Harvard, and Deadspin asked him for comment about him accidentally throwing a tweet from a white nationalist into a post. And his response was to write this insane, overwrought thing about making fun of repeated requests for comment being like the Deadspin writer wanted to ask him out on a date. And it just went on and on and on. And I was like, yeah, this is just like the funny here from this like shithead in dirty boat shoes is just straight homophobia. And it's like, it's amazing to the degree which no one there can.
Later on in this post about this Greta Van Fleet band, he's like, hey, Pitchfork, they only like snobby bands, and he goes, and he writes, this was a travesty as well, and then he posts a picture of a bad Mumford and Sons review. It's like, dude, no,
not helping your case.
Not like, yeah, it's not like Mumford and Sons are cool.
That's some like, yeah. Look, Pitchfork shitting on dad rock.
Yeah, shitting on the mandolin boys.
Mumford and Sons is literally a band that I took the train to where my parents live like 4 years ago to visit my parents for a holiday, and my dad picks me up at the train station and asks me if I like the band he's been really getting into, and they're called Mumford and Sons. Ugh. Like that is who they're caping for in this post. But so I wanted to mention how sort of jarring it is, the extent to which PFT commenter joined the hordes that he satirizes. Basically, it's like these posts are exactly what he got famous making fun of, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
kind of insane. Like even down to the technical level of like he like willfully makes grammatical mistakes all the time. It's part of his shtick, where these guys
they accidentally make grammatical mistakes all the time.
Very, very similar mistakes constantly.
Yeah, no. I mean, like clearly nobody is like, no one's fucking edit. They do like their business model is very weird because I mean, like there are like literally they get up to like 90 to 100 blog posts a day. It's a fucking lot. And even those are not really widely read, amazingly enough. Where they make their money is like podcasts and merchandising.
I mean, that's like a model for more than one website right now.
Right. I mean, that's not uncommon. But I mean, like they had one guy during one episode of their sort of evening recap show. One guy was saying that a clickbaity popular post of theirs will get like 30,000 views. And I was like, that's it? 30,000 like uniques, buddy? That's it?
Yeah. Bobby's racking up bigger neeks every day, baby.
Yeah, man. My neeks. I'm all about the neeks. Everyone knows this.
Yeah,
like they're literally what's allowed them to scale up is their podcasts, which are very popular.
Hey, Bob. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Anyway, so if you'd like to read more about David Portnoy and Barstool Sports, you can check out my article at the Daily Beast. It's headlined, Inside Barstool Sports, Culture of Online Hate. Quote, they treat sexual harassment and cyberbullying as a game. You can read that at the Daily Beast.
And while you're over at the Daily Beast, you can check out some good articles by motherfucking Corbin Smith, baby. Ow, ow, ow!
You got a nice little shout out from our mutual editor, Marlo Smith, and got a year-end roundup, liking your Kobe blog, your Kobe Larb and Jam blog.
Yeah.
That was a good blog.
Rest in peace, Larb and Jam. Anyway, thank you, Bob.
Sure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
Oh, welcome. Our next segment is with one of the co-hosts, Roundball Rock, our writer, and you do other stuff, right, JD?
Sure.
Okay.
Occasional stand-up.
Oh yeah, occasional stand-up. You've done an improv before, haven't you?
No, I'm not big on improv.
All right. Yeah, me neither. At what point when you did improv did you start to be like, I'm not getting much out of this?
I never really did improv.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, it's windy.
All right. Anyway, it's Joey Devine. JD, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Cool.
Christmas. I'm at my parents' house, the house I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is smaller than I remember it.
Oh wow, is that?
Yeah.
Are you just like walking around like gently touching things and like marveling at how much smaller they are?
Oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
sounds
for sure.
Like the motion picture Welcome to Marwin.
Yeah, we're action figures, so yeah, that makes sense.
Are you just trying to get me to talk about Marwin Wilmes?
No, it's what I thought of.
Oh, you know I saw it, right?
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you see that?
I saw it for to review it for the Willamette Week. Holy moly, that's a stinky meatball.
I saw 3 movies yesterday, and none of them were Marwin.
The thing about making movies is that it's not like playing sports, where like when you get washed and playing the sport, everyone knows, and it's like you gotta stop playing the sport now.
Right.
Like Carmelo, like Robert Zemeckis was Carmelo like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
but
he's been. Yeah. Did people like that movie, the Walk movie? Am I crazy?
No, people don't like that movie.
Okay, never mind.
They did like that Denzel Washington movie where he flew the plane when he was like wasted or whatever.
Flight.
When he was like, "Oh, I'm so wasted flying this plane.
I'm drunk right now." Yeah. You might even go as far to say it's a pro drunk flying movie.
Yeah, because he saves everyone.
Yeah. Because he's loose.
Yeah. He's super relaxed, so he's able to...
That gives me a good idea. I think I might get super drunk before I go grocery shopping today and see how well it goes.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to come home with protein powder and vegetables primarily.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
Joey.
Joe, you know what? Go ahead, Wilmes. You got it.
Yeah. You got your athlete of the year in mind for us here?
Look, I want to preface this by saying...
Not athlete, sports person, sorry.
Yeah, I want to preface this by saying I thought a lot about it. I was going to give a joke pick and say, once again, for the 10th year in a row, Anthony Randolph is my athlete of the year.
Uh-huh.
But he actually did something this year, so that's less funny.
What did he do?
Well, he won a gold medal with Luka Doncic for Slovenia, and then he won with Real Madrid with Luka Doncic. And you know what? Probably taught Luka Doncic everything he knows.
Yeah, it seems reasonable to say at this point.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it, and I think the thing I'll remember... There are 3 things I'll remember most this year. It'll be Jason Kidd getting fired at a pizza place.
Man, I might have even already forgot that.
Jimmy Butler and his practice bullshit, and Jim Boylan. And I think I'm going to go Chicago Bulls head coach Jim Boylan is my sports person of the year.
Yeah, I mean, this one is hard to deny. He took over the team and immediately had them running suicides all the time. He's convinced everybody's fat. There's video of him doing push-ups. He looks like the kingpin. This is an acute pick right here. Wilmes, how do you feel about it?
Well, he refers to his team as a wolf pack. He talks about the power and the awesomeness of his players' spirits.
He choked a Grant brother. Right.
Yep. Dragged a professional player by his neck. A curiously under-examined incident. He looked like he really was ready to get fight.
Oh, he had been waiting to choke an NBA player his entire life.
The first time he saw an NBA game, he was in diapers, and he saw Kareem or Bill Walton, and he pointed and he said, "Chokey."
And the funny thing to me about Jim Boylan is I hated him for like a week, and now I kind of like him.
Oh yeah. I think this is where me and Wilmes are with it now, right?
Yeah, I think that honestly, the weird part about it is that that's where like the players on the Bulls are now too, because they're starting to say like over the top nice things about him.
They're like, Jim's all right.
Dude, Wendell Carter called him a quote unquote defensive genius.
What if Jim Boylan is just the coach of the Bulls for the next 10 years, and he presides over like several conference finals type runs? I mean, not a championship, please, but
I mean, weirder things have happened.
Yeah.
I guess his offensive like strategies are, sinking the Bulls into like the worst numbers of the last 20 years.
Whatever. Who likes offense anymore? Who cares?
Well, he's very committed to some old school stuff, and that involves in this case ignoring personnel to the point that you're giving Robin Lopez a lot of post-ups. And this is happening despite the fact that Lauri Markkanen is on your team. Despite the fact that Levine is on your team.
Yeah, but that's cool now, right? Like, because every other basketball team, they're just doing, they're acting like cowards out there. They're just running around screens, going tee-hee-hee every time they hit a basket.
Right. They're definitely, look, Jim Boylen is definitely, his offense is sitting at home watching reruns of Family Feud while eating cereal. Which is also how he celebrated his first win as an NBA coach.
Hell yeah. Who's the host of the Feud right now? Still Steve Harvey?
It's got to be Steve Harvey still.
Okay.
Once you hire that guy to host something, he doesn't leave.
He doesn't leave. That's why they've never gotten him to do the Oscars.
Oh, man. That would be such an insane pick.
Anyway, Jim Boylen. What a wonderful pick, Joey.
Thank you.
I had to resort to sort of old memories of like rec league coaches who were basically just a dad who was probably somewhat begrudgingly and sometimes enthusiastically volunteered to coach his son's team. To think of like methodologies that are similar to what Jim Boylen is doing. Because
let's be honest, Ryan Archidecano is basically a coach's son.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's every coach's son.
Yeah, so him getting lots of minutes from Jim Boylen is not surprising.
But I recalled just like Jim Boylen pulling all the starters for basically the entirety of the second half to watch like Campaign and Cristiano Felicio lose by 56 points. Just sort of such a willful sort of way of losing,
Mm-hmm.
Such willful losing in order to like prove a point reminded me of this coach of one of my friend's rec league teams in like 5th grade who in practice would be really adamant that everybody did every time they passed it was a bounce pass because he was like, well, they steal it less often if it's a bounce pass, which I don't even think that's true. But he was adamant on that. And anytime during scrimmage, if somebody did a bounce pass, or I'm sorry, they did a chest pass, he would actually grab the ball and be like, that's a turnover. And give it over to the other team. Now, that would be one thing. But he extended this principle to actual games.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have a deal with the ref where he was like, if my team does a chest pass, that's a turnover. And
What?
That's the way it went.
All right.
Yep.
What? You know what? This ref. They need to rethink some things. That's all.
But you know what?
This ref being like, yeah, all right.
Somewhere Jim Boylen is listening to this episode of Take It or Break It and hearing this story and just like rubbing his big old belly as it warms. He's loving this story.
Yeah, it's full of corn pops, his belly, and he's just like, oh, what an idea. Get Scott Foster on the phone.
Do you think that NBA coaches have refs' phone numbers?
No. There's no fucking way.
Probably not. Could you? But like, because they would
call them a lot.
They would get drunk and call them and yell at them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of like Denzel Washington flying a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not unlike Denzel Washington flying a plane.
I was such a bad child, since we're talking about youth basketball. I was such a bad basketball player as a child. Our team, the team I was on, if you were like the player of the game, they would the next game they'd let you wear number 23, Michael Jordan's number, of course. Oh. And the one time I got to wear it was because my coach forgot to put me in the game one time and I cried. So the next game, he was like, oh, here, you were player of the game, number 23. It's all you, Joey.
How did that feel?
Oh, bad. Terrible.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was bullshit.
Was that like a moment of profound, like a moment when you were more cynical after it was over?
100%.
Wow, that is. Whew.
One time my dad made me a bespoke ribbon for like playing well, even though I really didn't.
He just made you a ribbon?
Well, I was really upset because we lost the game, and there was a play where I was like, I thought that, I thought that I had taken a charge. It was called the other way, and I got really upset about it. And my dad made me a ribbon saying I was like some brave young Duke player or something for trying to take a charge. I don't remember what the ribbon said.
The Christian Leitner Award.
Just some shit like that. Yeah, the Ryan Arcidiacono Award.
I had the other problem where I just really didn't give a shit. Where like I should have been doing community theater, but I was playing sports instead, and my dad was my coach, and it wasn't a good scene. It just was like I needed to be in poetry class somewhere. But I was out being like, ugh, I don't really care if I win or lose this soccer game at all.
Kind of like the Andrew Bynum of youth soccer.
Yeah, not unlike, honestly.
While we're telling youth basketball story awards, I guess I should tell the story. So, when I was 10 years old, my parents got me Tim Hardaway basketball camp. Because Tim Hardaway was my favorite player at the time. And I waited, like, my birthday's in January, and the camp was in June, so I had 6 whole months where, like, every night I would just, like, as I was falling asleep, I would just, like, close my eyes and think about how Tim Hardaway and I were going to become best friends.
Oh, Jesus.
At this basketball camp.
God.
And here's the thing about those celebrity basketball camps, even when you're 10, is they're for kids who are like good at basketball, you know? And so we get there and they split us up into teams, and they're like, oh no, all right, the first 5 guys who can make a finger roll get to start our next game, and our first game. And the first kid gets the ball and he literally dunks it.
Not a finger.
That wasn't even the assignment.
Fair, it's not a finger roll.
and the coach is like, "Hey, that's not a finger roll. Good dunk though," and then pats him on the ass. And then the kid throws me the ball, and I proceed to bat the ball around to like half court because the chest pass was so hard I could not catch it. And then I'm grabbing the ball, and I'm like, I don't know what a finger roll is. But I've seen enough sports movies. I know I know. Look, I'm not supposed to be here. You know who else is not supposed to be here? The Mighty fucking Ducks.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
But I'm going to make whatever this finger roll is right now. And I just closed my eyes, and I threw the ball as hard as I could at the backboard. And I opened them, and I watched it literally airball. And that's when I realized, like, this week was going to be, like, a literal nightmare for me. Because I couldn't catch the ball. I was barely strong enough to make a basket. And now I'm, like, stuck with, like, kids who are going to play in college. Like, I'm pretty sure Leon Poe was there, who later played for the Celtics.
Did you and Tim Hardaway become friends?
Well, we're gonna get there. Don't worry.
Oh, thank
God. The
God.
other thing, this is
thank
your
God it gets
story.
More depressing.
Yeah, your story reminded me of this, Corbin. So the other thing they told us is, hey, Tim Hardaway basketball camp is sponsored by McDonald's. So if at any point you want a McDonald's cheeseburger, just go upstairs to the snack bar. Free McDonald's cheeseburgers all day. And I swear to God, I spent the entire week at Tim Hardaway basketball camp eating McDonald's cheeseburgers. I gained like 4 pounds at basketball camp. I have a very specific memory of looking down on a court and watching my team play 4-on-5 while I ate a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Oh my god.
So then it's the last day of basketball camp, and it's the only day Tim Hardaway shows up, right? And he's there because he was quote unquote getting his wisdom teeth pulled.
Yeah, come on.
As like a 29-year-old man.
Lie.
But he's there to give out awards, and I was like so cynical at this point. I was like, well, there's no way I'm getting an award. And I had like 5 McDonald's cheeseburgers.
And they gave you one for fanciest boy.
Oh, just wait.
Oh.
I had like 5 McDonald's cheeseburgers just sitting on my chest while sitting on the floor of the gym being like, oh, that guy was a good dribbler. And then something crazy happened. Tim Hardaway, my hero, my favorite player, goes, the winner for most inspirational player
Get the fuck
is
out of here.
Joey Devine. And I stand up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? As like cheeseburgers just slide off my chest. And I'm looking at Tim Hardaway, and Tim Hardaway is looking at me like, what is going on? Because most inspirational players should be going to the kid in the wheelchair, not the kid with all the cheeseburgers on his chest. And I go up and I shake his hand. I shake Tim Hardaway's hand. And then I like grab my certificate and I turn around and I feel Tim Hardaway wipe his hand off my back. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird handshake. And then I walk back to like my cheeseburger pile on the floor. And like, I'm all proud and I'm looking around and all the kids are laughing. And I'm like, what? I just won an award. Like, they didn't give awards to everybody. Everybody didn't get to meet Tim Hardaway. And then I look at my back and there is a splotch on my t-shirt from where I guess I'd had a bunch of mustard on my hand when I shook it from the cheeseburger. And Tim Hardaway had wiped the mustard on my back.
Oh my god.
Look, I didn't learn to finger roll a basketball at Tim Hardaway basketball camp, but what I did learn is how to finger roll mustard onto Tim Hardaway's hands.
First off, a lot of things to say. Boylan, first off, he's going to every day of this camp. He's tracking you down, making you stay for extra reps. He's doing everything you can to make you excellent.
Oh, for sure.
You get no cheeseburgers. You're running suicides. And at the end of the week, when you give him the mustard, he licks it off his finger.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Well, that was weird. Thanks for joining us, Joey.
Hey, for sure. Sorry for taking 20 minutes.
That's all right. So did Silverman.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right. Next person. A beloved friend here, taking a break at America's pal. It's David Raposa. Raposa, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Corbs, how you doing?
I'm all right. Ate too many brownies today, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Wait, did you eat brownies or quote-unquote brownies?
No, just brownies.
Oh,
Not even quote-unquote brownies.
Fucking square, dude. What the hell?
Raposa.
Yeah.
Who was your selection for SPORTSPERSON of the Year?
Oh, my God. I have no fucking idea. I guess, for lack of a better thought, Mookie Betts. Because he won the World Series. Pretty sure he won MVP. I should have checked that before I started talking, but I didn't. He's pretty good. he probably should be the face of baseball, and he actually could be because he's like Mike Trout, not as good, but like 100% more charismatic and fun. Even though I guess there was a picture going around where he was at a football game and he had his shirt tucked into his like shorts, which I guess some folks did not really agree with.
Very Mike Trouty.
Yeah, what do you want? He's a baseball player. He's not.
Also, he's got a name. He's got a real baseball name.
Yeah, Mookie.
That's true. I think that's actually his name too. It's not like a nickname. Maybe I'm wrong.
You hold a child in your fucking hands after it's been pushed out of your wife. You smell its head. You take in the sensory experience of fatherhood. You look at the fucking doctor and you say, Mookie.
Maybe that's the sound he made when he was coming out.
Okay. Like that.
Well, I was thinking more of the sound that was made by him coming out, not the sound he himself made.
Wait, you're saying that his mom's vagina made that sound?
But the friction caused by his arrival into this world produced a sound equivalent to Mookie, is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
All right.
Gross in hindsight.
Okay, let's play a quick game. The game is called I Don't Know Anything About Mookie Betts. And I'm going to ask you questions.
Oh, boy.
Is he fast?
Yes. He's quite fast.
Is he one of the fastest in the league?
I believe so, yeah. I believe he was a 30-30 guy, at least in his career, if not this year.
Okay. Has he always played for the Red Sox?
Yes.
Is he
a detriment?
Is he going? Is he going to always play for the Red Sox?
Possibly.
How old is he?
He's, I think, 26 or 27.
Possibly. Righty or lefty?
Righty.
What position?
Right field. So I believe he came up when he was coming up. He was a middle infielder.
And what kind of a fielder is he?
Very good.
Good throwing arm?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. I'm so happy to know all these things about Mookie Betts. Is he charismatic?
As I said before, I believe he is. Yes.
You believe he's charismatic? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I believe other people believe this as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, sometimes with a name like Mookie Betts, the name itself does a lot of the heavy charisma lifting,
especially in baseball. I actually think part of the reason Trout hasn't caught on is that Trout is not. It's a very
Yeah. Also, Mike.
Yeah, that too. But but I don't know. What if his name was Mike Swordfish? That'd be fucking cool.
If you say so, dude.
What's another fish? Mike Eel. Ugh.
What if it was Killer? Mike Killer.
Yeah. Or Killer Trout. That would work.
Killer Trout would be. I mean, why would you name your kid? I mean, that's an even weirder thing to name your kid than Mookie.
Okay.
I mean, in your opinion.
Yeah, Corbs. Come on, open your mind.
Yeah,
you guys are right.
How about this, Raposa? Before we hang up on you. Although Mookie Betts is a good answer. What was your favorite movie this year? You like movies?
I like movies. I love the fact that you asked me to be on your show, and you give me the prompt ahead of time. I still don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Actually, hold up. Well, what was your favorite movie?
Probably The Favorite.
I have not seen that yet. I assume you liked it a lot.
I
since
did.
It was weird.
Wilmes also saw it, and I believe enjoyed it.
It's one of my favorites. I can't remember everything I saw, so I'm not going to answer. And you know what? Just think of a movie you liked. I just don't. This whole
That's the thing. I mean, I just got a new Blu-ray player and a new TV, so I've been watching a lot of older-ish movies.
Oh.
So, I got The Last Jedi again, which I really liked, even though I'm not really a Star Wars guy per se. I just saw Buster Scruggs last night, which I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Okay.
I suck. Yeah, sorry.
Congrats to Buster Scruggs, David Raposa's Movie of the Year.
Yeah, my enthusiastic recommendation. Thumbs up.
Who's going to be your Sportsman of the Year next year? What do you think?
Next year? Michael Jordan. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's Michael Jordan. He could have won this year. He could have won this year.
He's warming up. No, he's a warm-up year. 2019 is his year.
Yeah, 2019.
Well, he slapped the guy upside the head this year, though, right? I mean,
yeah, he did. He did slap a guy upside the head this year.
Trust me, it's a warm-up. It's going to be quite the year.
You think Michael Jordan's fucking blowing up next year?
Like he's actually going to take a guy out?
I just think that his humanity will be his genuine humanity will be more on the.
Because that's what's going on with MJ right now. Raposa is that he's just like he's starting to act out. He's starting to bust out of the Michael Jordan thing, and we're starting to see the blessed demon inside. And soon, he will be rampaging throughout the earth.
Yeah, he's dancing with commoners.
Yeah,
just speaking his mind.
He's going to be on First Take by June.
Nice.
I don't know.
Smith, you think, or just a guest, or both?
Oh, as a guest.
Okay.
Just to tell Stephen A. Smith what he really thinks of him, you know.
As if he hasn't done that already.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's probably done it privately, but this is the year that Jordan goes public. Get in your offers. The IPO is coming up.
The IPO on Jordan, Sportsman of the Year. It's here, baby.
Well, the stock market's going to shift, so why not invest in Michael Jordan?
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good point. Hey. Raposa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Corbin.
And now we're here with a writer for Bleacher Report and others. Sean
Deadspin.
No, that's me. That's me. You're
taking a break. No, sorry. Wait, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's Corbin Smith. No, but we're here with Sean Highkin. Highkin, how's it hanging?
It's going all right, man. I'm just soaking in the New Year takes. I'm excited for the full Take It or Break It Sportsman of the Year episode to come out.
Who isn't? Who isn't? Highkin was a part of an episode I recorded last week that was lost.
Yeah.
Oh, it depresses me so much. It was a really
good episode too.
It was a really good episode.
It was like an all-time Pantheon Take It or Break It episode.
There was a part where Highkin said he had a burner account, and I said, "Who do you follow?" And Highkin said a few things, and for a second it sounded like he had a horny burner account. And then we asked, and Highkin was like, "No, it's not a horny burner account." Anyway.
Yeah, so here's the full explanation for the burner account.
Uh-huh.
So you know how Instagram has switched it up so that you don't they don't put anything in chronological order anymore.
Yeah. Or sure.
So sometimes you miss stuff. So when I was on the Bulls beat, I had this burner account that I only followed Bulls team accounts and player accounts, so that if I because when you're on the beat, you need to see what the players are posting on social media, and if I just follow all those people on my own account,
they might post something like, "Hey, I hate it here. Fuck Chicago."
Or Rajon Rondo blasting Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler on Instagram. That was a thing that happened that year. So I need to have when I was on the beat, I needed to have a dedicated account to just follow those players, so I only see their stuff, so I can see it all in one place.
Also to do a little horny liking. We're not here to judge.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny what else I was doing on the burner account. I was just giving this. That's the official explanation.
Okay, all right. Anyway, Highkin, you know Wilmes, of course.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we've ever met.
Yeah.
I guess you just don't remember it. I remember you.
Okay.
Everybody remembers me.
Yeah. Highkin walks into a room and the place everyone drowns in charisma. It's unbelievable.
I still, whenever the Bulls play, I'm not even on the Bulls beat anymore, but I still get tweets every night about who won the Dunkin' Donuts race.
Oh god, I'm happy to hear that.
They gotta start raising banners for Cuppy Coffee.
Yeah, I know, man.
Oh, just Cuppy Coffee dominate?
Biggie Bagel and Dashing Donut are going to have to run suicides at the next Bulls practice.
But Cuppy Coffee, though, has, according to Jim Boylan, has an awesome spirit. So
it's his soul is awesome. I love his heart. His soul is awesome. That was the quote about Chris Dunn. Or no, it wasn't Chris Dunn. It was Chandler Hutchison, whose soul is awesome.
Yeah.
Boylan's so good. We've already talked about Boylan, though. Highkin.
Yeah, someone else has selected Boylan.
Someone else has selected Boylan.
Well, hey, that was going to be my person of the year, but I guess not.
That is literally not true. I know that's not true. Highkin.
No, it's not true, because I'm going to do my best to bring the listeners some of the glory of the lost episode. You know how when the Beach Boys didn't put out Smile for 40 years, but then occasionally tracks of it surfaced on some other albums, or
that's what's gonna happen with this episode.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Occasionally, some takes from the lost Take It or Break It episode are gonna find their way onto other Take It or Break It episodes, and they're just gonna add to the legend of the lost episode, which had all of the classic takes in one place. That's what's gonna happen here.
Go ahead, Highkin.
So
Tell us who it is.
my sportsman of the year is Rich Paul and the greater Klutch family mafia.
Yeah.
That's because and essentially, I mean, you're seeing it this week with the all the Anthony Davis stuff. Anthony Davis is now a Klutch boy. So between the year that they had, basically Rich Paul, it was like, I mean, LeBron is the one driving the ship, but like Rich Paul, for official purposes, Rich Paul, is the one that represents all these other players. He's got Ben Simmons, he's got Anthony Davis, he's got John Wall, he's got a couple of other guys. LeBron goes to LA. That's that was a huge thing for the greater Klutch / Spring Hill Entertainment cause, because now LeBron is like producing movies and producing documentaries and producing TV shows and all this stuff. And now they're engineering Anthony Davis somewhere. I don't know whether it's to LA, whether it's to Boston. My take on the show was that it's maybe to somewhere besides LA, and LA is a smokescreen because it's just so obvious. Oh yeah, like Rich Paul signs Anthony Davis, and now he's going to try to get a trade to the Lakers. But no, what if he wants to go to Boston? And so then if the Celtics ever win a championship, then LeBron and Rich Paul eat off of that too. So I think this is just them expanding their empire, controlling the news cycle. Ben Simmons is there too. We'll see what happens long term with him and Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid. He might get himself, he might engineer himself somewhere else and do this with the similar news cycle in a couple of years when his contract is coming up. That's the take.
I was speaking to our mutual friend Eric Gunderson and John Brochelite at PDX Brochelite on Twitter last night. We went to.
Is this what you guys were at Tusk?
Yeah. We went to Tusk. And
okay, that's I don't respect this conversation now.
Okay, all right, but let me get through it. And John was saying that LeBron has made himself into capital. LeBron is sort of taking the step in founding an agency and using it to sort of swing guys around. Like, he has taken the step of worker control in the NBA. Like, this is the first step towards NBA teams being owned by the players, being like
LeBron
owned
is
and
like
managed.
LeBron is it's like a combination of a public trust and a venture capital firm.
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron is a tech bro, but he's also like a socialist workers advocate.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, he's creating socialism for the players, and forever it's been socialism for the owners.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of us are left to behave in a capitalist structure, which is obviously harder and worse.
Yeah.
But I feel like LeBron sort of fractured the sort of power structure of the NBA with the decision so many years ago, and for a long time people were scrambling and trying to fill that void that fracture left, that power vacuum. And now, of course, the person who's filling that void is LeBron himself, it seems like.
Well, I don't know if you guys the other thing to keep in mind is that when LeBron was in Cleveland, like every year that he was a free agent those years, he just kept signing 1-year deals to keep the power and keep all the leverage. And I don't know if you guys read the Zach Lowe thing on Anthony Davis that came out today, but he suggested that Anthony Davis might do the same thing and sign these shorter deals, whether it's in New Orleans or somewhere else, until he gets to the 10-year veteran mark and can get the supermax from anybody. LeBron kind of has perfected like this whole, just like so many different ways. Like, you look at like everybody's method, Kevin Durant signing these 1-year deals with the Warriors. LeBron invented that, or LeBron was the first guy to really do that at a high profile level. Deciding where you want to go and teaming up with other free agents, LeBron did that. And now we're kind of seeing, I wonder if this is going to lead to, like, we're going to see other players at this level, like whoever the next LeBron is in 10 years when he's like a veteran in the league, like, is Zion Williamson going to have his own agency, and is he going to be like controlling other players?
Well, not him, because he's going to be a bust, but
the next guy, like, is LeBron Jr. going to sign with Klutch, or is LeBron Jr. going to start his own club?
Klutch Jr.
In fairness, Michael Jordan's last few contracts with the Bulls were all 1-year contracts.
That is true.
And he was able to get the most possible amount of money by doing that.
But he only did that after spending his whole year basically making like $4 million a year, like his whole career.
Right.
And then those were just kind of thank you contracts at the end. Those weren't like, did he ever? I mean, you guys would know this better than I would because you guys are Michael Jordan historians. But
sure we are.
But Was he? Did he ever seriously threaten to leave the Bulls in free agency? Like, was that ever a thing?
Yes, he did. Although we haven't talked about it yet. I can't remember where he was threatening to go necessarily.
Was it the Knicks?
I think it was the Knicks because his agent was
David Falk, right?
David Falk. I believe was Patrick Ewing's agent as well. Does that sound correct, Wilmes?
David Falk?
Yeah.
That was Jordan's agent, yeah.
Yeah, but he was also Patrick Ewing's agent, right? And
I don't know.
I believe New York, although I could be wrong on that. He definitely threatened to leave.
Was it serious though, or was it like he just kind of lightly threw that out there?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I read Playing for Keeps, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Yeah, I'll have to dig that one out. I have it in a box somewhere.
Really good book. Highkin, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Highkin's the first person who didn't thank John. So
why would I do that?
Here's what's been happening. Everything I go thanks. They go, hey, thanks, Corbin, and then I stop recording and they say, and thank you, John.
Yeah.
See, I know what the hierarchy is, so I'm not gonna thank you.
That's true. Thank you. That's true. I am daddy.
This is all for show. This is just what happens in the public eye.
Okay. Oh yeah, behind the scenes, Wilmes is putting cigarettes out on me. And
Jordan, Corbin, you're also a bit obsessed with hierarchy and patriarchy. I have to.
It's like in retro, like basically you guys are trying to make it seem like Corbin is Brett Slamson and Wilmes is Randy Ledoux, but it's really the other way around.
You know, it's actually the case that neither of us is either of those things. No dads, no fathers. We're okay. It's a flat power structure. It's socialism. We're not here to sort of recreate the savagery of the world that exists outside of this podcast.
Take it or break it is the new world order, people.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Highkin.
Yeah.
Participant in the sports person of the year competition. It's a guy we know.
Yeah. It's accurate.
Yeah. It's, Julian Rodriguez. Julian, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Julian. Excuse me. Oh my lord. Sorry, I just got Julian, who is your sports person of the year?
My sports person of the year is Vontae Davis.
Okay, I don't know. Who is Vontae Davis?
He is a cornerback, NFL corner, who retired at halftime of a game this year.
Oh.
I just think one of the as someone who enjoys football and played football, I think people don't acknowledge enough that when you're not playing well, you're actively getting your ass kicked in playing football. So I just respect that he just quit football. So it's tied up in so much military shit. Like, you're not supposed to quit. It's like fake. I like football, but I hate the fake military shit. So I love that he just fucking quit. And he, you opened up a roster spot and opportunity for some other guy. So I respect that. People were butthurt about it, but I thought it was the fucking coolest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Go ahead, Wilmes.
Well, I wanted to mention that my fantasy football name in his honor was named Vontae Davis versus Goliath.
That's good.
And I suppose in this through this frame, we could imagine the Goliath as the military culture of the NFL.
I hope you don't mind me saying society.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because
I dig
the best way to end a fight is to stand up and say, "Nah, you were right."
And it's just fucking cool that to see him quit, like he worked at Best Buy or something, he just fucking quit at halftime. And I think and I like that. At least, I don't know, maybe I'm too online, but culturally we're moving towards not fuck 2 weeks, you just quit. So I like it's just dope. It feels like I don't think Vontae is a leftist, But like, I'm also talking myself into like that. Yeah, that was pretty progressive way to fucking quit your job.
He just said fuck it.
Yeah, just because like football, it's fun to play, but it fucking sucks when you're not good at it. You're just literally getting your ass kicked, and he wasn't good anymore. And it's practicing fucking sucks. He's in Buffalo, so it's probably cold too. It's just I respect it.
He just said I'm done, hopped on a plane and went somewhere nice.
I don't even think he just like walked out at halftime, like out of the locker, like he was just like, hey, all right, I'm out, and then left. And like I don't think the beat reporters. I'm trying to remember. It was like week like 2 or 3, and like the reporters were just kind of like catching wind after the game, or like halfway through the third quarter. I think like it wasn't like everything so immediate. It was kind of trickling out on Twitter. Devontae Davis retired at halftime, and it was just awesome.
You know what? I honestly kind of think Vontae Davis is going to be a hard one to top. Julian.
I agree. Also, if he lived somewhere warm, I wonder if he would have retired quite as quickly.
Well, he's from like DC, so
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I don't think the cold played a factor. I think he was just like, fuck this shit. He was not good anymore. He used to be really good, but he sucks. I mean, he sucked this year and in the last couple years.
It's like a statement of fuck work. It's a statement of total self-awareness. It's just like every sort of thing where you are like seeing above a system and saying this isn't any good anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing from like the way I generally look at sports, like I always want like, okay, like I guess it doesn't really apply to football because like you could like you're sacrificing your health to some effect, but like he made it to week 1, so he'd be guaranteed for injury or just for sucking. Like if they cut him, he would have gotten the rest of his money anyway. So I'm guessing because he quit, he left money on the table, which whatever, that's his prerogative. But yeah, I think it checks all of my boxes for like my values in that, so that's the only one that's a little bit iffy. But again, he saved like, getting his ass kicked for another 10 weeks or whatever.
Mad respect to Vontae Davis and mad respect to Julian Rodriguez. Thank you for participating.
Thank you for having me, dudes.
We are now welcoming our next guest to the Sports Person of the Year Bloodbath. It's a comedian, a political activist, the host of Are You Ready for Some Football over on the Androsky Network. It's Josh Androsky. Josh, how are you doing?
I am ready for some football.
I'm so sorry.
I get it wrong, too.
I'm so sorry.
That's the song. The song asks the question.
Yeah,
Are you
if
ready?
you don't think about it, you're going to fall into it.
My podcast is the answer. I am ready for some football.
Joshua, please tell us, who is your Sports Person of the Year?
All right. I feel like no person better encapsulates 2018. I almost said 2016 right there because collectively we're all still stuck there.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that one's just going over and over.
Yeah, we just died in 2016 and nothing else happened. Or everything else has just been like a really weird like heat expansion.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody better encapsulates 2018 than my man, Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson, former coach of the Cleveland Browns, current assistant coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Because, fellas, 2018 is a year wherein we understand the things that plague us as a country, as a world, as a society, which we do live in one. We know the problems. We know about global warming. We know about Me Too. We understand that all of these people don't deserve jobs or that all of these bad things are happening. And yet, what happens? The bad actors continue to get rewarded. No sooner was Hugh Jackson fired from his job as arguably the single worst coach in the history of the NFL, then he was immediately hired for another job, even though he's already getting paid for his tenure in Cleveland. He is now picking up another paycheck for a team that is somehow worse than his old team. And like this is like the most 2018 thing in the world, I think, is like and especially going into 2019 is the failed touchdown spike gif, like where the guy spikes the football and it directly goes into his own dick and balls, and then he falls, and as he's falling he gets shoved by another player. That guy spiking the football, that's us, baby. That's America going into 2019, and we're about to get shoved by reality. So
in the dick and balls.
No. The spike.
We're hitting ourselves in the dick and balls.
Yes, and we're gonna be shoved on the way down.
Oh, okay.
By reality, because of what we've done. Like, this is like the fact that fucking Hugh Jackson got one of his own old players. Like, I think it was the first time, because they played twice since. But like, that's also a thing, right? Like, 2018 is the year of the guy going to the division rival and giving them all the information, because who fucking cares? It's impossible to sell out anymore. Like, we've all just completely been fucked by capitalism to the point where it's like, it is. I was thinking about this with some friends. It is pretty impossible to sell out in the year 2018. But I think being the coach of one team and then getting fired and then going to your division rival and just narking on all of the shit so that they can try to beat you twice, and then losing twice and having your own, like your old player, intercept the ball and hand it to you directly on the sidelines. Can't do better than that.
Josh, that's such a comprehensive point that I don't know if I have much to add. Wilmes?
It's the second submission from the world of football today. Josh, can you guess who the first submission was?
You know what? Honestly, I know who the first one was, because he was my first choice also.
Yeah, because I knew who Josh was going to want to pick, so I told him.
It's pretty tough to top Vontae Davis.
Yeah. But,
right, which is why I tried so hard with Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I was unnervingly convinced.
Right.
Yeah, it's a pretty good argument for somebody who wasn't even my first pick.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, maybe you are secretly the king of the sportsmen.
Oh no, there's no way.
Josh, what if you're Stephen A. Smith? Like, what if that's where you're heading?
I mean, that is the goal. I've always thought that I'd be a great pundit, because no matter what I do, I manage to piss off a lot of people on both sides of the issue, especially people that I think I'm trying to help or talk to. So that would be good for me. But I think the problem is that I've been in this position, and this is a reality. I've been like not offered jobs, but like submitted for like to be like a producer on Colin Cowherd's show, and I thought about doing it for real. And I know that I'm like honoring your facetious question that I am the sports king of the year, but I am going to say that I couldn't even as a joke like submit to Cowherd and do it for like a minute because of how brutal that would. Imagine being Colin Cowherd's producer.
That would be a nightmare. That would be horrible. I suspect. Maybe he's a kind man. I couldn't finish the sentence.
No, dude. Friend of my pod, and should be friend of your pod, Brendan J. McGowan, he was a PA on a thing that, like a live Colin Cowherd like taping that one guy showed up to. Oh. And Colin Cowherd is like in the like tent where all the craft services are. And Colin Cowherd, Brendan goes into like, do some PA work, whatever. And he hears Colin Cowherd in the middle of a conversation going like, yeah, like if you didn't want to get shot, maybe you shouldn't have tried to rob that store. And it was like, oh no. Like,
oh boy.
Yeah. So maybe Colin Cowherd is actually the sports person of 2018 is what I'm trying to say.
Who was the lady who said that LeBron should shut up and dribble?
Was that Laura Ingraham?
Yeah. I had a friend who did a thing in Chicago, some sort of completely pernicious and heinous special about violence in Chicago. She filmed it at some theater where a friend of mine does like production freelance, and so he was regaling us all with the details of this monstrous production. And then I also have a friend who probably the smartest person I know, but who I've lost touch with for reasons that are impossible to explain. But Breitbart was trying for the longest time to sort of woo him because he was like, he had like done a bunch of different master's programs. He'd like dropped out of medical school right at the part where they are about to pay you because he's like the most insane person. But he went to Princeton for this PhD program and immediately became enemies with everyone on faculty. And Breitbart has a way of sort of figuring out who like people who are bitter about Ivies are, and they try to take that and turn that into, you know, your editorial behind the scenes motor genius for this machine that we make. He never, you know, well, as far as I know, he never said yes to them, but they were trying to get him to work there for like a year.
Wait, what did Laura Ingraham do? What were the bitter details?
She just like she found as many people as she could to say exactly what, you know, she would want them to say. So like, I mean, like people from the South Side, people who are living in dangerous neighborhoods. And believe it or not, there is a sort of wide spectrum of ideology in those neighborhoods. And so if you want to, and you work hard enough, you can find someone who can sort of confirm your bias about the topic. And
Oh,
so
I thought you were going to talk about.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be some
killed
hot
a dog.
goss.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the goss is just that they did a bunch of different interviews, and then they just used the ones that confirmed, you know, they just said exactly what she wanted to hear.
Do you know what the word goss means?
Is it an abbreviation for Gosling?
Yeah, that's the problem. See, you didn't give us any goss, dude. You didn't give us any hot goss. We all knew that about Laura Ingraham, man.
Yeah.
You can't get a group of people all stoked to find out. Like,
Yeah, I thought you were going to be like, oh yeah, Laura Ingraham cut a guy's finger off.
Right. She's like, oh yeah, man. Like, my buddy walked in and the room was covered in blood, and she was just like, "Get out of here!" in a voice that was like 10 times deeper.
But then again, maybe the story that Wilmes told, I mean, that's a real banality of evil thing, though, you know?
Yeah. Banality of evil is the true goss, the true Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, the true gossip that's out there is every evil person is vilely boring.
It's the actual First Man, directed by Damien Chazelle.
Yeah, and I think that plays right into Hugh. Can you think of a dude that is more boring than Hugh Jackson, who's just more like, hey, I'm just really happy to be at this Home Depot, than Hugh Jackson?
Maybe Scott Brooks.
I don't know. Scott Brooks looks a little too Patrick Bateman-y.
Mm.
Oh,
He's not.
You think he might be a human meat guy?
Yeah.
Scott Brooks? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's all in the eyes. Hugh Jackson's eyes are just so like full of like entitlement and like not really resentment, just sort of like, what did I do? I did everything right. And Scott Brooks' eyes are just vacant. You can put whatever you want in there, dude.
I do occasionally feel like with Scott Brooks that like his career as a player, maybe where he was just like a dumb, intense guy, it kind of invalidates the idea of him as like a I don't know, it's like a boring guy. Like, I think, like, if we're using the parlance, I think that Scott Brooks might secretly eat ass.
Right, but like in a way that's very disturbing.
Oh yeah.
In a way that's like banned, that we don't even know. We don't know what the technique is, but it has been banned.
Yeah.
It's called tunneling.
Yeah. Or bone tunneling or something along those lines.
Oh, the bone tunnel sounds like such a shitty like bus. Like that would be like in like the worst band, the worst people that you've ever met are like, hey, yeah, we're starting a band. It's called something else, but this is our bus, the bone tunnel.
They bring the guitar along just for that flourish too.
Yeah. And they play the Bad to the Bone riff.
That's the only song they play.
Yeah. Oh man. In all honesty, though, there was a band that played Bad to the Bone for 40 minutes. I'd see that.
Is that art? Is that where we're at?
What, playing Bad to the Bone for 40 minutes?
Is
Sounds
that
like-
where we're at?
Sounds like art to me.
Is
Or-
that the Metal Machine music of 2018?
Yeah. It's just playing Bad to the Bone for as long as you can.
I'm in.
Okay, you're telling me you hear about a gallery show where there's a band and they're going to play Bad to the Bone for 3 hours straight? You're telling me you don't want to experience that?
I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Who's in the band? The band's got to be cool, though. Or the opposite. The band, it actually might be more impressive if it's all, like, dudes shaped like an upper.
Like 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
I think the band is actually Boris.
The Japanese drone metal band?
Yeah. Yeah, they're the ones playing Bad to the Bone. Or is it Deerhoof? Maybe it's Boris and Deerhoof.
Oh, finally a Boris Deerhoof collab. Has there been a Boris Deerhoof collab?
I should hope so.
Yeah.
Probably not, though.
I can't get into the droney stuff, dude.
Ugh. I thought you smoked weed, you wimp.
I do smoke weed. I smoke so much weed, but you know what I like? Fucking music. I don't like fucking
terrible.
mood.
So I can't believe I
code.
can't believe I've been having a normie on my podcast like this.
Hey, man.
Scared of the drone. Makes me sick.
No, I'm not scared of the drone. I'm
Okay.
bored by the drone.
Wink.
The world is a drone.
Wink. All right.
Everything is a drone.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
You have a significant other, correct?
Yes. I have a beautiful girlfriend that I'm very happy with who is currently pacing the apartment.
So I had a thing that was racing through my mind when I was at Christmas with my countless number of cousins.
Sure.
You know, most of whom are-
which of these people were you gonna get with? Was that what was going through your mind?
No, that was actually not it. I was thinking, you know, a lot of them who typically show up single and then like, they have a boyfriend now or they have a girlfriend now. They like that to some extent, right? Because they get to show everyone else and their extended family that they're normal, right?
Right. That they're capable, that there's somebody out there for them. They're not so damaged.
That they're normal, yeah. So where would you rank in terms of the number one reasons to be in a relationship? Where would you rank getting to prove that you're normal?
Oh, wow. Wow. I've never really thought of it like that. I've never thought of like the performative aspect of being in a relationship because that's not necessarily like my deal in my family because I'm the little Jesus of my family, as I think is obvious by all of my actions. Like I would get away with fucking murder with my mom because I just like, you know, I was like a super round, chubby 8-year-old, and anytime I get in trouble, I do like an Austin Powers impression, and that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
To see like a fat 10-year-old to be like Groovy Baby or whatever in earnest is really funny. And my sister would always try, and she just doesn't have the same sense, like ability to make my mom or really as many people laugh like in that way. Like she's really funny in her own way, but not like on the spot like that. So she'd end up getting in more trouble when she tried to like make a joke. And so
when she tried to do her fat bastard impression.
Yeah.
Right. And my mom would be like, I don't want to hear about eating babies. Gross. Diarrhea.
Danica. I assume your sister's name is Danica.
It's Jessica. You're close.
Oh shit, I was weirdly close.
You were weirdly close to that. But yeah, so Jessica, she was like, Jessica. But my sister would be more into that, like proving that she's normal in that regard because she's always been a little bit more of the black sheep in the family than I have.
I kind of think the thing Wilmes is mentioning might be the thing I'm worst at.
Proving that you're normal.
Yeah, a little bit. And like, I even think I make other people worse at it when they're in relationships with me because they bring this like big furry guy home and you say, what do you do for a living? And I go, you know, I write here and there.
I'm a take merchant.
Yeah.
Would you like to examine my wares? Ask me about Coke. Ask me.
He's a bad man. $500, please.
Wow, he's good, honey. I agree with you, Corbs. I'm in that boat. I've been a long time.
Yeah, but at least you can be like, I do stand-up comedy for money.
Yeah, but like all my jokes were about like stupid things I did while on shrooms, or now it's everything I talk about is fucking red communism from beyond the moon. So I'm not the best. Like I'm the type of boyfriend that routinely needs to be told to get more normal at family occasions. I need this. I've gotten this just this last time, and I deserved it, which is please don't bring up politics. Please, whatever you do in any way at all, do not bring up politics.
I've had to do that.
Yeah. Like, wait, you've had to sit somebody down and say that? Or
no, I've had that said to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like, less than the sort of... I think it's always, like, the younger sibling that wants to be normal, or the more black sheep if it's, like, older. It's a very younger sibling or, like, Khan from Succession thing to do. The proving that you're normal by having a girlfriend, which is why it's so funny that his is a paid sex worker. And I've always liked the idea of being in a relationship as sort of a way to like really revel in your abnormality. Like I've always found that the more like weird inside jokes or voices or like my girlfriend Madison, like the way that we talk now, it would be like zap dingbats. Like if you recorded our conversations and tried to play it back, because everything we say is in some sort of shorthand, and that's why like we're in a very happy, long-lasting relationship. And
because you just go meh, meh, and then she gets bread.
Literally, we just go like cheap, like we say like, and then cheap means something different than choop. And we know, like, so you're not far off by saying, like, going, like, map, map. And, like, a Scottish voice saying, like, oh, love ya, like, really means that we're happy, as opposed to, like, sometimes saying, like, I love you means, like, I'm tolerating the fact that you have trauma from your childhood, and recognizing that you're safe in this place. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
The abnormality and, like, really diving into the weirdness of the other, and I always like, and this is the way that I'm in with this relationship, and why it's so great, and why I think it's going to last a really, really long time, is like I love a partner that allows me to like spelunk in their weirdness and really like dig around and observe like these weird parts of them that are like really interesting and might even be slightly off-putting, but are just so unique that like I love to dance and swim around in that. That's my favorite place to be in a relationship.
Well, this went wildly off topic, but
what
hey,
are you talking about?
Shout out to Love Languages Everywhere.
Yeah, dude.
What about you guys? I mean, where are your guys'? I know you're trying to wrap up. Don't fucking wrap up. Like, either validate and acknowledge me or differ.
Yeah, I'm with you in the abstract. I feel like I have trouble making another person understand me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have trouble understanding another person.
I definitely have a paranoia that everybody always talks about me, and they're like, why is he?
Yeah, we do though.
Why is he not? I don't even mean you. I mean people in Chicago, people who see me in the blood and flesh, motherfucker. And
wow.
Yeah, I have a paranoia that they're always like, you know why he's single? It's because he's deranged and stuff like that. So then when I'm occasionally not, I'm like, ooh, like now, like take this, motherfucker. Look at this. I have a girlfriend.
That's not Johnny boy. That's not healthy.
Josh, I know that.
Do it for you though, dog.
Well, no, that's why I've been single for like 3 years or 4 years or something.
Oh, my Lord.
Good.
Because I for myself. Well, what do I want to do for myself?
I'm worried I'm in for a several years long drought.
But I want to do it for from what I want to do for myself.
I just always worry that I can just like fundamentally not understand another person.
That's fine though. I mean, it's fine.
But the fun part is trying. Like that's the whole point of it. Is like really trying, and like any argument. Like I don't know. Like you might have a lot of arguments in a relationship, but that's not a bad thing. That's just you guys trying to like communicate the same point over and over in a way that finally articulates what you fucking mean. in a way that the other person can understand. And like that, like trying to find out another person is the whole point. You're trying to like paint the most detailed picture. You just dive in, bitch. Dive in.
Yeah, maybe 2020.
I think that the thing that Wilmes is worried about, which is that everybody thinks... I always feel like my thing is like everybody looks at me and says, oh, well, Corbin's a fucking loser.
Why?
I don't know. Like, Corbin never has enough money. Corbin insists on doing this thing. Corbin he doesn't drive. He takes buses everywhere, and he always smells like the bus.
Hey, all right. Let's go in order. 1, not having enough money is totally fine, and in some circles is a plus. 2, and I mean, certainly not anything that would make anyone think you're a loser, at least anybody that's worth hanging out with. 2, public transportation, especially in the Pacific Northwest, fucking rules. And it's good to take it because if you don't have a lot of money and you can't afford an electric car, you shouldn't be driving around and polluting the earth. 3, having a very specific style and doing things your own way, so long as you don't like rub it in anyone else's face and don't let them do their thing, which it seems like you're not doing, is a part of being a unique and enjoyable human being. Boom, Corbin's done. Moving to John. You're not weird. The world's weird, man.
Right?
So the thing is that like you have this idea of what you're supposed to be and what you think society in scare quotes wants you to be like, and that is bullshit. You have to be true to yourself as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else. And the only way to not be in like a lonely place is to be somebody who is capable of articulating your own feelings and your own desires in a way that does not put upon your partner, in a way that like allows them to also grow while you grow, and just be like totally upfront about all the shit that really sucks about you and how you're working on it. And like self-realization and that sort of idea of like self-awareness is your greatest strength in the battle against loneliness.
Yeah, I like being alone a lot.
That's tight. As long as you don't feel lonely, then that's good.
I will say that's definitely not a Corbin thing. Corbin definitely feels lonely when he's alone. Too. Yeah.
I'm like that too.
I'm not out here itching to feel the void. And I respect that Wilmes is and but I'm just oh my god, Colin Jost is in a sweater commercial.
Oh, fuck you. Why did you have to bring him up? We were going somewhere.
Have you seen the sweater commercial?
No, I haven't seen the sweater commercial.
Oh man, Josh, you gotta hate watch this sweater commercial, dude. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is in it too.
Oh, then I have seen it, and it bums me out.
Oh, the Jost is in it?
Yeah, it bums me out that the two comedians most associated with Aaron Rodgers are fucking Pete Holmes and Colin Jost, the two comedians that I am allowed to publicly hate the most.
Why are you allowed to publicly hate Pete Holmes?
Oh, because he's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
And he's like a self-important asshole who like Tom Sharpling, I think, put it best about Pete Holmes' show, which is how could you be a bigger fan of Pete Holmes than Pete Holmes?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that is one I just do not get, man.
You want some goss? I'll give you some Pete Holmes goss right now.
Finally.
I was at a show in LA called Sleepaway Camp. That was like a really fun show in like a really big theater. And Pete Holmes was on stage and he told a joke, and I don't remember what the joke was, but it was a good joke. And that's the thing about Pete Holmes that might be the most infuriating, is that he's super capable of writing really good stand-up. And so he told a joke that was like a really good joke. It wasn't like life-changing or anything, but he then sat in it for a second. And then, honestly, to the point where like multiple people who like knew him from Chicago, like who were there, like audibly groaned. He was like, genuinely, he said this: the burden of being on stage right now and having to tell that joke and not being able to be in the audience and watching it.
Ugh.
I know one comedian who has known him for many years, looks at me and says, "That's a dude who's never been punched in the face before and needs it."
Good Lord. Well, all right.
Yeah, can I just say the following?
Go ahead.
Pete Holmes is canceled.
Got him. Fucking got him.
Rack him.
When this fucking gets released, it is game over for that SOB. Colin Jost, though, he went to Yale, so he's unstoppable.
He went to Harvard.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. That's where all the comedy writers go.
Yeah, Harvard is comedy ISIS.
Yeah, Harvard is comedy ISIS. Yale is just how you become a neocon.
Yeah, nobody's fucking. There's not that many whipping proofs that are really, taking over the comedy world.
Look, they might do some weird sex stuff. Don't get me wrong, but
oh, they all do weird sex stuff. They're from the Ivies.
Yeah.
I wish that Breitbart guy would have hit me up.
I think Brown does. I think Brown does weird sex stuff, but I think they come about it honestly.
They have a lot of naked parties at Brown.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten into that kind of shit? Like, I've always been
being nude.
The guy.
No, I fucking hate it.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Naked parties?
Yeah, public nudity in a situation where
hate it.
Nude beaches, I've done a couple, and those own because everybody makes an agreement beforehand, a sober agreement, to be like, we're all going to be nude. This isn't going to be weird. We just want to be in the ocean without any clothes on, and that feels really tight. And I'm super down with that. I've done it a surprising amount of times, which for me is 3. But any sort of
if you're in a house and you're nude and there's other people there, get that shit the fuck out of here.
FOH.
Wilmes, you're gonna have to submit your opinion on
nude
that.
beach.
Never been to
just
one.
nude around other people.
I'm pretty ashamed of my body. So
hell yeah, pimp.
I'm Catholic. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to overcome that shit? I'm supposed to go to therapy? I don't think so. I'm just gonna drink sludge.
Ow, sludge it up.
Catholics are so close to Jews. Like, it's just the therapy. That's the only difference. Like, especially Italian Catholics.
Oh yeah, well I'm a what you call an Irish Catholic, so
yeah, but you got a lot of body hair.
Worse. That's true, I do. All right, I actually have to.
Yeah, Josh, we have like one more to do. We have like 2 more to do, and Wilmes has somewhere to go.
I'm gonna keep talking.
All right, we're gonna hang up on you. If you got any more stuff to say, you can just say it in your microphone.
Listen to my podcast if you want to live. It's very sick. Please help.
Okay, Josh isn't gonna kill you if you don't listen to his podcast. Everyone.
No, I'm not.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks for having me. This is always fun. I love you boys.
Oh,
love you too, buddy.
With us now is the father of basketballing, a stepfather, a friend. It's Kelly Dwyer. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So very stepfathery right now.
Yeah, you're standing over people's shoulders and saying, "Oh, what are you watching?"
Yeah, pretty much. I'm about to write the song "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time." The most stepfathery song that's ever been written by a stepfather ever.
Wait, was Paul a stepfather when he wrote that?
Oh yeah.
What? Linda had kids with not Paul?
She did.
I had no idea.
And he happily took over as a very active and doting stepfather and smoked a lot of marijuana and bought a synthesizer and wrote Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time.
Yeah. I fucking love man, I don't know if I got enough Wonderful Christmas Time in this year.
I didn't get it till the day before, and I rocked out in that supermarket.
It's one else was. Such a fun song. It's
a jam. It's a jam. You got to limit it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason you only listen to it once a year, but
yeah.
Oh, it's so
it's Paul
fun.
McCartney.
It's so fun.
You can only do Band on the Run one time a year, like some point in June.
Oh, I'm a little surprised you're not a Ram guy.
Oh, I'm a huge Ram guy. My dad made me listen to Ram when I made him sick of all the Beatles albums because I listened to him so much.
Yeah, that checks out. When you were younger, did you not appreciate it?
Oh, I know I did. I did very much so. It was explained to me as sort of his answer to Pet Sounds, which I later found out not so much true. It was mostly recorded in New York.
No.
But for a dad working in 1989, that's pretty good work by Kevin Dwyer, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's just so. I mean, I guess maybe your dad didn't know what lo-fi was yet, because that's what it is, right? It's like
that's a possibility. He did buy the Fine Young Cannibals tape that year, so
big year for K Dwyer. You don't have a son, right?
I do not have a son. I have two beautiful stepdaughters, aged 16 and 15.
Okay. So if theoretically you did, it sounds like perhaps you will not be.
Yes, that boat has flown.
If you had a son, would you have named them Curtis with a K, Dwyer? Were you looking to continue that tradition?
I think I go down. Well, no, wait. I went down the alphabet with my cats because I had 3 cats named J. So I guess it would have to be whatever letters is beneath J. I don't know. I'm not a drunk. I can't do the alphabet backwards. I have no practice.
K, A, B, C, F, G, A, I. It's I.
I. Oh, okay. Well, is it
Irving Dwyer?
Irving. That's a little too pretentious. I don't read at that level.
Well, I mean, that's Bill Crystal's real name. No, that's Bill Crystal's dad's name.
Idris Dwyer. Idris.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
After Idris Muhammad, the percussionist / drummer.
Not after Idris Elba, the actor from Thor Ragnarok.
I haven't seen any of that or that other show that he was on or that other show that he was on.
You haven't seen The Wire? I'm a little surprised.
I haven't seen The Wire. I haven't seen any serial television.
You were a blogger in 2005. And you didn't see The Wire?
Exactly. I had to run away from Baltimore as quickly. It was Baltimore, right? No, I don't. I was a blogger. I was busy watching basketball games and BBC America.
BBC America, a little odd. Anyway, Kelly, we have you here today to ask you who your sports person of the year is.
This year, I really liked Kyrie Irving a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Love it. This is maybe the first one that I think I wasn't expecting. Please, go right ahead.
And I'm not trying for any sort of angle. As is usually the case with me, there's less than meets the eye. I just found myself as a wonderful byproduct of my new job and I guess suppose lifestyle, kind of ignoring all the noise, all the day-to-day chatter about the NBA, and I'm really kind of removed from the zeitgeist, and I've mostly just had to watch basketball. And in terms of just watching basketball, I love watching that guy more than anyone else. And the little leak that came out about his possibly wanting to retire early, well, that could be a contract feint or some sort of nascent Jim Brownism or whatever. He wants to go make more terrible movies. I don't know. Either way, it scans with me.
I think that bad.
Well, this is, again, coming from the guy who hasn't seen. What else is Idris Elba in? Something certainly with a Mercedes.
Thor: The Dark World.
Thor the Marwyn, which I'm assured again is a reference I should make.
I saw. Did I tell you? Did you know I saw that movie?
I don't know what Marwyn is.
I
don't know if it's a person or a falcon.
I would have been better.
Or a type of guitar tuning.
Dude, it would have been way better if it was a falcon. It was what it. It's a. Oh boy, explaining it takes a long time. Basically, guy gets beat up and he builds a fake city to deal with his feelings about it. And it is an incredibly bad movie. Apparently the documentary is incredible. I didn't watch it because I was reviewing the movie and I wanted to watch it on its own terms. But
I like that approach because then you have 4 different ways in which to approach what you have to write because you have sparkles coming from every direction. So that's good. You can always go back and watch the documentary later.
Exactly.
But none of this is helping me understand any more Twitter jokes.
No.
Near as much as all those manual retweets from 2011 talking about The Wire did.
Anyway, so you have selected Kyrie Irving. It seems primarily just because you enjoy watching him play basketball, even on the dreaded Boston Celtics. Although I think Kelly doesn't have those kinds of biases.
No, they're there.
Okay.
I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy their uniforms as much anymore. I came of age when it was easy to dislike them, and I I don't recall many Boston fans around me in the 80s in Chicago. If anyone was rooting for anything, it was the Lakers or Isaiah Thomas. So I didn't grow up around that. And Brad Stevens.
Oh yeah, I guess people in Chicago did root for Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
when the Bulls beat them, was there like an element of like people being mad that Isaiah got taken? Okay,
no.
Good, I'm happy to hear that.
Dude had his turn.
Yeah,
they lost in 87 to them too, and 88 and 89 and 90. So it was a long stretch. But Isaiah, again, I dislike the man intensely, and I'm with all those early stepfather bloggers that took great delight in pointing out how Isaiah's numbers didn't really stack up against someone ball dominator like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
But
that's Ethan Sherwood Strauss's most powerful take, in my opinion.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I'm not. It's an appropriate one for what a lot of us had to grow up with, identifying Thomas.
That shit is definitely true, though.
Yeah. It's we're all growing, we're all figuring it out, and the story is starting to evolve. I won't be able to read it because Isaiah blocked me on Twitter. But I'm
so sorry to hear that. Are you okay?
I'll be fine.
Good, I'm happy.
Again, I have this Marwin backstory to fall back on. Isaiah, I related to Isaiah though. You couldn't help it if you were below the rim with a basketball that was as big as your body as a kid. You related to it. He did all the highlight stuff that you got on tapes. It was stuff that was all around the basket that you could pull off with like a layup or a high dribble or driving into the thick of the paint and just like bouncing the ball behind you. All the shit that he did in the All-Star game. And Irving has that. He's very relatable in a way that I never got. I never was with he's 6 feet tall, so all of the Western world has to relate to him because he's one of us. I don't get that with many players at all. Size has never been a weird thing with me.
It's more about method.
Method.
Yeah.
And the method that Kyrie utilizes doesn't seem long for the NBA. It seems like I don't think he's getting bored with things. I think this is a guy that's having as much fun as humanly possible right now, and in a way that's oddly relatable to me. It's a delight to watch him because there's a presence of individual there that doesn't detract in a way too much of the fella usually does when it's an alpha-sided NBA star. He's just a refreshing player to watch. I'm always flipping over to him. And it genuinely is about the nonsense that he does away from the ball or during dead ball time. I like the whole package. As we record this tonight, it's a TNT game, so you get that TNT overtime, and you can focus on all 14 different camera angles at once, or you can focus on one fella. And I like watching Kyrie Irving enjoy his peak.
I have a fairly intense anti-Celtics feelings. Not quite sure why, but I think it's because I read Bill Russell's book and I came away from it being like, I hope the city of Boston never wins anything ever again. But Kyrie really is just the only dude on that team who I go like, yeah, that guy's all right. Almost everybody else, I just low key wish for failure and pestilence.
I mean, yeah, it's a terrible book, and the city is hard to navigate. It doesn't.
Wait,
bother
what's
me.
a terrible book?
No, the things that happen in Bill Russell's.
Okay, I was like, no, yeah, Second Wind's a really good book.
Yeah, I mean,
for a second,
it's sorry, excuse me, I didn't mean that. I just meant the awful things that what's the suburb that all that happened in? You know what?
Oh,
Who
I can't even
knows?
remember.
All
I remember is Russell saying Boston is a flea market of racism.
Yes.
Where you get every kind and every variety. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive! I can understand that, and again, it's what you pick and choose. And I've just chosen to sort of alienate myself again from the stuff that can influence me into not liking a basketball player just because of the uniform. That's not healthy. that's leading me toward, possibly, rooting for a team that has a terrible owner, even though that's 25 or 30 different teams, or a player.
Also, you do root for a team that has a terrible owner.
Yeah, if you are watching basketball,
I know what team. Also, I know what team you specifically root for, and who boy,
Jerry Reinsdorf, because he drives a Buick.
Well, and he's a weirdo, and
I mean, come on, he's clearly you know what? I can't even make jokes about it. It's sad to be a red and black these days, and Boston is no better. But I've been able to isolate the individual with Irving. I
think I do too. I like that he told LeBron to fuck off. I thought, like, even if I don't think that it's like the best thing he could have done for his career or whatever. In the sports way, but I think that him just being so particular that he's just like, nah, that's not how I'm going to spend these years of my life. I'm good. I think it's fascinating. We were behind LeBron going to Los Angeles just because it meant a new and lighter and fluffier set of drama would arise, as opposed to the nasty, cold Cleveland bullshit that we had to deal with Dan Gilbert. So just him, moving to a less fractured environment was a relief for us enough to go, go play with the Lakers, because we're all sick of just the nonstop LeBron. And yeah, I dig him. I dig him finding his way. I dig him playing through injury, and you can tell. I dig how he just in a I can do these things with the ball terms. He's one of the few players that just sees it as a court sometimes. It's just, I can make this shot from here, and I'm going to try because I know I can do that. Let's cut out all the bullshit about how this game is on TV and that there's a lot of people here. Like, I can make this, so I'm going to take this shot. I'm not talking about weird shots, just I'm going to take a break from the play and make this shot. There's a humanity there that especially refreshing on a team that's really playing an offense out there.
Yeah, it's Daniel Theus. It's pretty harsh, but that was in place in Cleveland, and it's just as he becomes more and more confident with where those thighs of his get to go, I like it more and more.
I will say, people out there will be surprised you did not pick Dan Fagan, but.
Well, geez, that I drove on that road not soon before he had his accident. It's everyone use your turn signals and learn your cruise control and look over your shoulders.
Is that who died from Steely Dan this year?
No. Well, Dan Fagan is the player representative that passed away in a SUV accident last February.
Oh no, Donald Fagan.
Donald Fagan is the lead singer and co-writer in Steely Dan.
Walter Becker. He didn't die this year, though.
Yeah, he did not. Walter Becker passed away last year in September. But no, I would not. Fagan is purportedly a very good table tennis player, but beyond that, I would not.
You would not say that he was the athlete of the year?
I wouldn't say it right now, but catch me tomorrow afternoon when that just that thunder bass on Your Gold Teeth kicks in. I mean, I might change things. You'd like it if you got to listen to it in my living room. You just haven't listened to the right album.
Yeah, you haven't listened to the right album on the right stereo system. The studio work on these. And
you haven't been made partner yet. Once you get made partner, you'll understand.
Kelly, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me explain how much I love basketball.
Good take. Sincere take. I've been having a lot of smart asses on, so thanks a lot.
With the world on fire, I mean, let's go down with a bit of ourselves talking instead of the joke we wanted to make.
Yeah, hell yeah. We are here with a stand-up comedian who has performed at Rooster T. Feathers in Sunnyvale, California, and one of the hosts of Roundball Rock, my favorite basketball podcast.
Oh, thank you.
The one I get when it pops up in the feed, I go, "Oh boy, another Roundball Rock" with my good pals Joey Devine, who's already been on this episode, and Sean Keane, who's on this episode now.
Hey, how's it going, Corbin?
Pretty good. I ate too many brownies today. I think I already talked about this on the feed, though.
Oh, okay. I I will also be returning to Rooster Teeth Feathers January 10th through the 13th with Sarah Tiana. So
would you be willing to call it a triumphant return?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like you're going to be bathing in the blood of your enemies?
I mean, all my enemies in Sunnyvale, California.
Yeah,
I guess.
those rotten motherfuckers in Sunnyvale.
The founder of Netscape, Mark Andreessen, I think.
The Troy of the Bay Area, it's been said.
Yeah, it is.
And you, of course, are Achilles in this metaphor.
My comedy is a hollow horse of yucks.
Sure. Sliding in, and then they hop out, and they kill everybody in the...
I'm going to kill everybody in Sunnyvale, California.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of great shows. No murder. Ha ha ha. Yeah. One of the nights is military night, but I can't remember which one it is. So
I hope they tell you beforehand.
Troops get in for you, baby.
So you don't break out the. If you wear camo, you're a hog. You piece of shit material.
Yeah, that's really it's like a lot of my bread and butter.
The Androsky jokes, as I like to call them.
That's what I call them. Yeah.
It's Keen. Oh, what a pleasure to have you, Keen.
Oh, thank you. It's good.
I haven't spoken to you guys in a while.
That's true. We communicate a lot via text, but I haven't actually heard your voice live, not on a podcast in a little bit.
I mean, this is on a podcast, but like we're.
Well, I mean, it is, yeah.
But like to us, it's a conversation.
Well, normally your voice is going at 1.5 speed as well, so that makes it weird.
I mean, I know you got it blazed through all those dunk-ons.
That's true. Yeah. Well, those are straight 2x.
Yeah, 2x. Have you been tweaking with your phone to see if you can make it go even faster?
For dunked on, yes, yes, I have.
I know that's a joke, but also, I mean,
I would listen to it at 2.5 if I could.
I just lost a game. Sorry, other guy. Okay, Sean, who is your take it or break it sports person of the year?
Before I do want to acknowledge the Roundball Rock Sportist of the Year, and I would encourage everyone to learn more about this amazing athlete and his story. There's a champion Irish greyhound.
Inspiring story.
Clon Brian Hero, who for the past year and a half has been just dogged with drug scandals because it continues to test positive for cocaine. But also it continues to win races, got nominated for Dog of the Year, and apparently sparked a PED dog racing discussion in Limerick, Ireland. So, Clon Brian Hero, he was our sportist of the year. But for Take It or Break It, I have a different individual in mind, Corbin.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead.
And now, to be fair, this is someone who could win Sports Person of the Year virtually any year. But I think there were a lot of amazing things that J.R. Smith did in 2018 that make him the Sports Person of the Year. Mm-hmm. Let me give you a couple things that he did. He got an amazing offensive rebound in a finals game, which was like could have been one of the greatest offensive rebounds of all time, but also did not know the score of said game and then dribbled out the shot clock, causing LeBron to break his hand, punching the wall in anger like a baby. Like almost no one can crack LeBron. Yeah. But J.R. Smith did it.
J.R. Smith dug in.
Yeah. He got into feuds with many people, but the two most notable being Tracy McGrady and Stephen A. Smith.
I don't remember his Tracy McGrady feud.
Somebody, I think it was an ESPN Sports, somebody posted a thing that was like KD versus T-Mac to 11. You know, who wins a one-on-one game? And J.R. Smith said something like KD 11-0, and then and he caused T-Mac to spend like a whole minute on his ESPN show saying like, "Hey man, they're comparing me to Kevin Durant. I must be pretty good. If they said Earl Smith Who'd they say? He'd go against Jackie Moon, which is Will Ferrell's character from Semi-Pro.
Please, I'm familiar with Semi-Pro canon.
Yeah. J.R. Smith's response was to quote tweet the video and add, he real mad, I believe is what he said. He is the first player in NBA history to get suspended for throwing a bowl of soup at a coach.
Yep, yeah, that's true. God, I didn't even think about JR, but when you break it down, it really has just been an incredible year.
He had so many achievements. But my other favorite thing about that was it had my favorite Brian Windhorst story of the year, which was that Brian Windhorst knew it was chicken tortilla soup and intentionally withheld the information as a protest against ESPN and aggregators because they weren't respecting his regular reporting, and everybody was really into the kind of soup it is. Oh, the other thing he said about T-Mac was he made fun of him for blowing a 3-1 lead in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, sorry. His quote tweet was, he big mad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
but he made fun of T-Mac for blowing
God, once again, JR, he improved. It was better than it was better in real life. He big mad is better than whatever you said.
Yeah. But it also functioned to brag that J.R. Smith himself overcame a 3-1 deficit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Implicitly, he's plugging himself. The best Brian Windhorst quote of the year, by the way, is, I knew instantly that it was chicken tortilla. That was Brian Windhorst, as quoted in the New York Times. So, he beat the Boston Celtics in the Garden in a game 7.
Do you think JR threw the soup at the guy and then immediately got on the phone with Windhorst and said, you're not going to believe what I just did?
Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah.
I bet he likes Windy a lot.
Yeah. How do you not? He seems like a friendly guy.
Windy's the best.
Yeah.
Beat the Boston Celtics in the Garden in a game 7. The most difficult place.
He's Woj without the simmering murderousness. Windhorst.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lurking, inability to look another human being in the eye.
Exactly.
He's visible in mirrors.
Yeah. He's without the sense of being deeply inhuman and unable to feel love or pleasure or anything.
Nothing. Yeah. He went to his 4th straight NBA Finals. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Hey, I've only been to 2.
Yeah, and he also berated people on social media for filming themselves being charitable to the homeless. That's a good
Wait,
move.
like he was saying, like, why are you're just clout seeking?
Well, and also, it's fucked up to put a camera in someone's face and hand them money because they have to take it. But
yeah,
don't pour shame. But also, I would just say that in 2018, with the economy in the shitter, J.R. Smith is an inspiration to all of us for making nearly $15 million for simply going home to New Jersey. He doesn't have to hang out with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He doesn't have to hang out with Colin Sexton. He doesn't have to live in Cleveland. He doesn't have to see Dan Gilbert. All he's doing is shooting threes with his shirt off in New Jersey every single day.
God bless him.
He
doesn't even have to wear a shirt anymore.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
Did he? Wait, was some of the reporting that he fucking hated Colin Sexton?
I think. I mean, it's not clear what veterans, but yeah, I think he kind of hated him. He dogged his own team for tanking, and that's how he got sent home. And also, he's not even going to get traded because of his contract situation, so it's going to be a straight paid vacation for J.R. Smith. He essentially got a golden parachute from the Cleveland Cavaliers.
God bless him. Hey,
he also said he wouldn't accept a buyout. So it's tremendous.
Yeah.
I just think he's living the dream that all of us want to drive. Throwing soup at your boss and they still pay you your full salary and you don't have to go to work. It's incredible.
J.R. Smith shades Colin Sexton by nominating Trae Young for for Rookie of the Year.
Oh.
Yeah. Seems like a stretch, but At the same time, I mean, there's no way he liked Colin Sexton, though, right?
No,
None.
no
Zero.
chance whatsoever.
I really do kind of think Colin Sexton's going to bomb out of the NBA.
I do too. It doesn't seem like there's much of a prototype for that working.
Yeah.
On long-term basis.
Also the fact that everybody seems like they hate him. Seems like that could be bad. Just seems like that could not work out for him.
Yeah. His reply to Stephen A. Smith, who was saying that he would be remembered forever for his mistake in the 2018 finals. Wrong. That's what you will remember me for, not the people, especially Cleveland fans. I understand it has to be a Joker to every Batman, but this ain't that. Move along. Told Stephen A. Smith to move along.
Also conceptualized himself as Batman.
Yes. Or even I don't really. Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah, because Stephen A. Smith is the Joker. Is that right?
In this scenario, I mean, I really think that's more of the Joker versus. I mean, I don't know what Batman villain I'm willing to say J.R. Smith is. Perhaps the Penguin.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess.
Catwoman at best.
He just seems like he's one that would be able to commit crimes in the clutch. But overall, was not really.
I mean, but the problem is that Batman doesn't have villains like that.
No. Yeah, I guess he's the closest to Catwoman, who's mostly pretty legit.
Yeah, she just likes stealing things.
Yeah.
Who are we to judge?
He also had a preemie baby who turned out to be really healthy and fine.
Oh, good. What a year for J.R. Smith, baby.
Really? And what's he doing now? I don't know, but he's not wearing a shirt, and that's the important thing.
Chilling.
Yeah, he's counting his money online.
Have you ever heard of this Batman villain, Professor Pig?
I have not. Is he from the Spider-Verse?
No, but he looks like he's a pig man. Oh, he wears a pig mask.
But he's like in academia.
I think that he's like a sadist, former agent, driven mad, mind eroding drugs, crime syndicate. His abilities include chemistry, knife throwing, and medical science. Under weaknesses, it says mental illness.
Yeah, well, all right, okay.
Seems like a fucked up thing to say about Professor Pig.
Yeah, really. DC. He's so weak.
Yeah,
he has a problem with his brain chemistry.
Yeah, wow. Maybe it wouldn't be a weakness if Batman would get him into some decent treatment. Yeah,
what the hell, man? He has the resources.
Yeah. No, because he's spending all those on new helicopters. Please.
Yeah.
Dude, Batman is such a fucking one percenter, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Because there's all these problems in Gotham, and instead of paying to, fix some of these systemic problems, what does he do? He buys a bunch of fucking toys.
Well, I mean, he inspires the worst people in our society, in our real non-fictional Gotham society. Don't you think Elon Musk thinks he's Batman?
He's a little sunnier than that. He thinks he's Iron Man, probably.
That's actually closer, because
he was in the movie.
The Starks being war criminals is much closer to running an apartheid diamond mine in South Africa. Right?
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, for sure.
Except Tony Stark makes things that work.
Yeah, and he makes slower subways that can take cars.
Yeah.
Boy, not the sportsman of the year, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, you lose. I would like to see Elon Musk try to throw a football.
Oh yeah,
what would that look? How far would it go? What would it look like? In fact, that should be a thing. When Elon Musk is doing any kind of press conferences or public appearances, just toss a football to him. Not super hard, but just see how he reacts.
Just to see what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably puts his hands up in front of his face and goes, "Ah."
I think do you think he would grab Grimes and put her in harm?
Yes. Yeah.
I think so too.
Do you worry that with J.R. Smith's career sort of coming to an end that we're not going to have another one?
I do. think people act like J.R. Smith is emblematic of a type of player, and I really think he's not. He's unique in. Well, here's what I would say: of gunners of the J.R. Smith kind, there's almost no one who has also like won an NBA Finals because he's so clutch.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah,
someone who's
gunners they're Batman villains. They eventually they overestimate themselves.
But he's also just such a good athlete that it kind of seems like maybe he didn't keep himself in shape that much, but you'd never be able to tell because he can still play 45 minutes a night.
That particular element of J.R. Smith's game is so wild, I think. Because, most of these guys are, like, sort of craft guys. And JR is that, but he's also incredible at athletics.
Yeah, I mean, he's known for shooting threes, and he shot a huge number of threes, but he's also been in a dunk contest.
Yeah. Weird career, dude. Weird because he was weird, and weird shit always happened.
Yeah. He managed to sign a new contract at the worst possible moment every time except the final time.
God bless him for that.
Yeah.
But also production-wise, it's weird. And where his shots came from were weird. And how he contributed to teams is weird. Everything about it is weird.
Yeah. No, it's very strange.
Yeah. He might not have an NBA parallel which is...
Well, he won Sixth Man of the Year, and then because he flagrantly fouled Jay Crowder in the playoffs and blew out his knee, he basically ruined the next contract he got, even though it was the most successful season of his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, Jay Crowder. I mean, we all think Jay Crowder deserved it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Come on. Keen, always a pleasure.
Yeah, this is fun. Are you leaning towards a certain take? Are you delivering your own take on
me and John are going to deliver our own take after we've heard everybody else's.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Has anyone encroached yet?
I haven't thought much about it yet.
Ooh.
So I think that Wilmes was going to pick Boylan, and Boylan did get picked. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, he loves Boylan. Yeah, he's a Chicago sports legend.
Yeah,
Basketball Ditka, they say.
Yeah, the king of the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, you know what you should do? Just pick Aaron Rodgers and see what Wilmes' reaction is to that.
I don't know. I just saw him in a commercial with Colin Jost. I don't know if I can do that in good conscience.
He also had a thing come out where he's sitting in the Iron Throne and talking about Game of Thrones.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers did, or?
Oh yeah, I'll send that to you and Wilmes because Wilmes won't like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Cubs. I'm just gonna see how mad I can make
specifically Eddie Vedder, but all Cubs fans everywhere.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, and. Hey, I think this is gonna be the first episode of 2 of these because this is already 2 hours long. So
tight.
This came out tomorrow, and then the next one is gonna come out the day after tomorrow.
That's great.
If you're at the end of this podcast, listen to that. Keen, thank you to everybody else who joined us.
Hey, thanks,
and thank you for listening. And listen to the next one. Bye.